This is not the most welcoming lift you'll ever ride in. It's been around for so long that it's been listed, which means it cannot be altered or modernised without special permission from a government department. It's dated from around the 1920s or 30s. It still works and has only 2 buttons. This is it. There are no landing call buttons. So if the lift is on another floor, you're going to have to walk up the stairs to get it. The building itself goes back to the 1890s. It has a yard and a basement. See part 1 to check it out and see the lift in action. In part 1, me and Mikie also managed to get stuck in it. I'll let you know how we got out in a moment.
Oh dear.
Coming up in this video is a bit of this, a bit of that, but what we'd most like to do in this video is to have a look at the vintage lifts machine room. Even though I am an engineer myself and competent to be in such a room, these are normally off limits. We asked anyway and got a reply. It was granted. So coming up, how we got out of the stuck lift, and there's so much more to go through.
So what I do is if I level it a little bit lower, like that, does it still unlock the outer door?
Here we were attempting to get the lift in the right place for some shaft footage.
Not quite.
This backfired when the lift was too low to unlock the landing door, and after we opened the inner doors, it refused to start up again afterwards.
So this is shut, that's shut, that's shut. Oh dear.
This is not the most interesting part of the video, as my personal wish to get properly stuck in a lift was short-lived. After about 30 seconds, the lift just started working again.
I thought we were stuck. Now for you that's a bad thing. For me that was a good thing.
Instead, this is the most interesting part of the video. More about my little diagram below later. It has some significance to the unusual motor setup. Later in the video I have 6 observations to make. See if you can see some irregularities, or perhaps your own observations.
Yep.
Here is my first observation. A wooden box with 2 wires going into it. Storing any electrical device inside a wooden box is asking for trouble, as wood is combustible. The wires go into the shaft below. If you look underneath at the top of the shaft, there are conduits linking up various parts of the room, including the controller. What might have been in this box? All lifts have an alarm button. But what if somebody got stuck in the lift during a power cut? Older lifts, such as this one, the alarm bell may have been connected directly to a battery without a power supply at all. If the battery died, the bell goes with it. To keep the battery charged, low voltage power supplies like this one were used.
Yeah, it's a 12 volt power supply that. So that will probably be for things like maybe the alarm bell. And there is also a battery backup. You can see the battery terminals on the side there.
The drawing for this lift indicates that a power supply is present for the alarm bell. But there are some massive irregularities on this sheet which I'm coming back to in a moment. In conclusion, I believe batteries were once housed in this wooden box, further supported by the outline of circles which could have been an older type battery cell. My second observation is that the main up and down relays or contactors have been replaced. Personally, the old ones have much more character as the whole front moves. The modern equivalent works the same, but the movement is mostly enclosed. Observation 3 is the wiring diagram. This document is in far too good condition to be original. This is confirmed as it's dated 1977, but more to the point, it's also completely wrong. There is no direction logic, because there are no call buttons. Therefore there are no call button relays. There are only 2 buttons on this lift. As I mentioned already, there are no landing call buttons. It doesn't move unless someone is in the lift pressing up or down. None of these components exist in this lift. So why was this diagram left inside the motorroom if it's for a completely different installation? This brings me nicely to observation number 4. It's because this drawing was a close match to the unique motor that has been used. These components do exist: the relays to switch the motor on and off, control the direction, and the unique slip ring motor, which I believe is why this document was left in the motorroom. It was to give the engineers something to work from. In particular this section. How can an electric motor have what I've called an unpowered section? This opens up the massive topic of a slip ring motor. This was a fascinating topic which I learnt so much about, but the topic is so large that I created a new video. Even better, I've managed to explain a complicated topic in such a way that anyone can understand, which is what I do best. Please check out the video by clicking the link at the end of this video, or see the description. Observation 5 is all about this small wheel. It doesn't look very interesting, but to explain what it does yet again opens up another topic, which transforms this boring small wheel into another interesting subject. As before, there is a link at the end of this video, or see the description.
Well, that was lucky.
Last but not least, to me, the most obvious observation of them all, the control cabinet. Why is the control cabinet made of metal and contains a proper key? That's a vast contrast to the wooden box that the batteries were contained in, which may have come directly from 1920s. This cabinet certainly would not have been installed in the 1920s. As a comparison, here are a few other lift controllers from the 1920s era. Thanks to Elevator Bob for allowing me to use these photos. Bob has some amazing photos from hundreds of contributors. You can visit this website by finding a link in the description. This is therefore an updated controller and was probably installed in the 1980s by Hammond and Champness. Inside at the bottom are timers that are mostly used to run the slip ring motor, but it's unlikely that anything in this cabinet would have been from the original lift. It could be that one of these timers prevents the lift from running for a short time when the gate is opened between floors, which may explain how we got stuck.
You're pleased to know I'm coming down. Oops, is that the light switch? Sorry to take your time.
Just to your right on the shoulder now.
Okay, I can see it, yeah.
There is one more observation to make, which is best made without using a video light. This lift is dark, gloomy, scary, but I absolutely love it. To have been properly stuck in this lift and be rescued would have been an absolute privilege. Although I really don't think Mikie shares this opinion. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't forget to see the other parts from this video which explain, in a way that anyone can understand, the slip ring motor and the safety brake video. I take a lot of time and effort to bring you quality, interesting videos. I'm all about quality, not quantity. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If so, please consider subscribing to the Mr. Matt and Mr. Che channel.